Hey guys, and welcome to our review for Captain Marvel, directed by Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck, starring Brie Larson, Jude Law, Samuel L. Jackson, Ben Mendy,
Ben Mendy, our boy.
Ben Mendelsohn,
Love you.
Annette Bening, and Lashana Lynch. My name is Scott Ellis. I'm joined here by Tim McGavick.
I'm back again.
Back again. And Adam Franey.
Happy three men could gather to review this movie. Got all the right perspectives here around the table.
Very diverse group of us.
Very diverse.
Oh,
Three
yes.
white men.
Tim, can you give us a little synopsis of Captain Marvel for the viewers?
Yeah. Carol Danvers, a fierce and powerful Kree warrior, crash lands on Earth, 1995. There, she teams up with a young Nick Fury in order to stop an invasion from an alien race taking control of Earth.
The Skrull, I believe.
Sorry, her name is Verse?
Verse.
Verse?
Verse.
Verse.
Verse. Danvers. Danvers.
Uh,
Spoiler.
Adam, let's start with you. What do you think?
Little-
Well, you know what? Let me just take the temperature a little bit.
Oh.
What, were you guys excited for this movie going in?
I was excited. I wasn't like hype. Like, it looked fine from the trailer. Like, people were like, oh my god, this is going to be a game-changing movie. I'm like, it's going to be an origin movie. Chill.
Yeah.
It's going to be...
The game is this will be the same.
Yeah.
Was my thoughts.
Yeah, I went in thinking that at best it would be mediocre and average.
Yeah.
I don't know. The
Same.
trailer didn't grab me.
No.
Right? It didn't really.
Same.
It didn't really get me hype.
I saw Samuel L. I was like, he looks
Plain.
amazing.
We'll get to that. No,
Yes.
Tim. How about let's start with you then. Sorry, Adam.
I'm gonna fuck myself. Thanks.
Tim was getting on to some thoughts there.
He was
I
rolling.
figured I'd roll with it. What are your thoughts about Captain Marvel?
I had fun with this movie. Scott? I had fun.
You're a pig. Just kidding.
I thought the chemistry was probably the best part of the movie between Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson. Their like buddy cop stuff was pretty great.
90s action buddy cop
Yeah.
movie.
Interesting.
Some pretty funny moments. There's a nice little character reveal that I liked as well that we can talk about.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think.
I don't think you do. You
Oh,
might, maybe.
maybe?
I don't know. Effects I thought were like pretty solid, like the
de-aging effect?
de-aging on Samuel
Holy
Jackson and Clark Gregg.
shit.
Greg Clark Gregg.
Greg. I'm not gonna lie. There was a
Coulson?
couple moments with Clark Gregg where I was like,
He looked a little plasticky.
What's wrong with his face?
Little plastic.
He looked a little plastic. Maybe because I've never seen him as a young person. I've only ever known him
Yeah.
as like from Avengers on. But Samuel I can like contextualize as young Samuel. I'm like fucking looks identical.
I think there was one shot of Clark Gregg where he like turned around in the car and his face did this and he was talking and it was like all at the same time and I was just like I don't believe
Uncanny.
what just happened right
Uncanny.
there. But Samuel L. looked like amazing.
It was insane.
Like
Crazy.
they spent more on Samuel than they did on Clark.
Oh, 100%. He was on screen for like the whole movie.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Man, I like the villains. They're fine. I think the movie just the story wasn't as captivating as it could be. I do like that they didn't just start with like her straight origin. You got like a little bit of her already established as not like a superhero, but like doing what she does, and then gets revealed kind of throughout the movie.
They didn't do like a Green Lantern or something where he just goes from
Yeah, it's not like the 30 minutes
that
of like
to-
origin build up.
and then getting his powers.
Yeah.
Right. There's a little Green Lantern-ish, right?
Yeah.
The story, but
Yes.
in a
Very
different order.
Lantern-ish.
It is very Green
It's
Lantern.
disgusting.
But I liked it. It's probably gonna be like a mid-tier Marvel movie for me. Like it's not the bottom with like Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Dark World, and it's not like
Ant-Man
Infinity
2.
War, Civil War, Winter Soldier, Guardians of the
So it's
Galaxy.
like Ant-Man and the Wasp.
It's like Ant-Man and the Wasp, Doctor Strange, a little bit below Doctor
Yeah,
Strange probably.
Yeah. That middle ground.
Yeah,
Right.
that mid-tier.
that kind of like
Guardians
what
too.
happened?
Which is
in
fine
that
because it's
again?
like a standalone movie of this hero I have no connection to yet. I thought she was good though. I saw like a lot of complaints about like Brie Larson not smiling or something. I'm like, she's like cracking jokes this whole time and like smiling in the movie. I'm like, what is? Did people? Those are all reviews of people who hadn't seen the movie clearly because
right.
Yeah.
she's like very likable and like very like
The guy
animated in
says,
this movie.
"Smile for me, baby."
Yeah.
His motorcycle is
that's
great.
hilarious. 'Cause
Hilarious.
All those people that did
Fuck
that
that
had
guy.
those reviews are that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had fun.
You had fun.
It's about what I
You had
expected it to be.
A fun
Really.
time, a romp,
Yeah.
a space romp.
Space
would you
romp.
say?
Is it a romp? It's a romp?
It's a good romp.
All right. It's a romp. It's a romp.
Romper room.
Adam, let's jump over to you. What are your thoughts about Captain Marvel?
Finally.
Long waited.
You like it?
Thoughts?
Didn't like it? What do you think?
I liked it. I had fun.
Yes.
I was entertained, dare I say.
I laughed multiple times. In this
I laughed.
Cried.
Shit.
No. Didn't cry, but I was like, yeah, this is a fun little movie. The trailer did nothing for me. Put that out there. Looked very plain, very just uninspired. The movie didn't reinvent the wheel or blow me away or anything, but I basically agree with everything you said, Tim. The chemistry was good. I thought it was funny. I loved all the 90s atmosphere, all the 90s, the soundtrack, the blockbuster, all the 90s gags I thought were great. I was praying, please, I really hope they dive into the 90s stuff. I was really scared that they were building up that it's set in the 90s, but it would be very, very minimal stuff. But I love that every song was a big 90s hit.
The dial-up thing was hilarious.
Yeah.
Waiting for the internet or waiting for a video to load. I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing.
All the little
so many memories.
Scrolls there were pretty funny.
Yeah, I thought the villains classic MCU were fine. I didn't think they were great. I guess it's spoiler to say all the villains, but
it's not more. There's never more than one. Sorry, there's never just one. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. It was pretty fun. I basically would echo everything Tim said. It's not going to end up being in the elite of the MCU for me, or at the basement. It's just kind of in the fog in the middle.
Okay.
Which I guess you could argue, some could argue is bad, because it might be oh yeah, what? When we're on the 35th movie, oh, what happened?
Were any
that?
first standalone MCU movies not middle tier?
Iron Man.
Most?
Captain Iron Man's
Top.
upper. It's still not top. It's I think on my
it's
I
probably
think
top
on my
of the
I think
middle.
on my
I don't
letterbox
know.
it's number 8 or something on my letterbox. I think.
Yeah, it's top 10 for me.
But the other ones.
All the
No,
Origins,
Thor.
Guardians.
Don't like Captain America. The first Captain America
Solo
is
ones.
less than this one for me.
Sorry.
Do not like the first Captain America movie very much.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that at first, and I
Actually,
rewatched it, and I
I
grew on it a lot.
actually do like it.
If you haven't
Watch it.
rewatched it, definitely rewatch it.
Shut
'cause
the fuck up.
I said, yeah, just kill yourself, man. No, I thought the exact same thing, and I rewatched it before Infinity War, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Interesting.
Rewatch it. But Captain Marvel, sorry, however, Marvel. Yeah, just another decent entry, but it was better than I expected. I honestly thought it was going to be pretty bad, so I guess you could say I'm pleasantly surprised.
Scott hated it.
Yeah, I'm getting the vibe that this guy absolutely hated it.
I'm gonna jump in.
So you hate women, also. If you hated it, you hate women. So just prepare that.
I don't hate Captain Marvel.
Oh.
However, I don't think it's that good either. A lot of the faults, I think, Adam, you mentioned you thought the trailer was pretty plain. I think the movie was pretty plain. And I honestly don't like I didn't like the 90s stuff.
What? Why?
Yeah. I thought
So the only different
was,
thing about it?
I thought it was forced. The songs, I'm just no, that's too obvious. Really, you're gonna use that super obvious? Even there's a no doubt. I wrote it down because it's too much. The No Doubt song. I'm sorry.
I loved it.
Way too obvious.
I'm just a girl.
I gotta
It just
disagree.
didn't fit. I'm thinking the scene just doesn't fit with that song. I don't know. It should be some colorful scene, and it was just some normal action sequence. Nothing exciting about it whatsoever.
Yeah, the action
And they
scenes weren't
had-
great. in it.
The action was.
They just had a poppy song playing. I'm this doesn't fit.
Yeah.
It's not like the opening of Guardians 2 or something.
That's fair.
Or something like that,
Right.
right? That's another level fight scene, right? The opening credits.
Of Guardians
Yeah,
2?
yeah.
Guardians 2.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Is it
another
same?
level song
Yeah.
fight,
Yeah.
right? Whereas these ones felt a little forced. Like it didn't need the '90s, the super poppy '90s songs,
I feel like
for me to
they
get it that it was '90s.
like clearly they were trying to do like a 90s version of Guardians, like 80s Guardians 80s do the 80s hits, this 90s do the 90s hits.
To me, it's like a cheat code, you know.
Yeah, it is.
It's like
Cheat
it's
code.
lazy. It's a lazy cheat code.
It's
Like,
very,
hey, this action scene's kind of boring. Let's just
Let's just
toss
put
that.
no
Yeah.
doubt in there.
See if it-
You know,
Yeah.
it is a bit lazy to me.
You're not wrong in saying that.
That being said, the things I do like, I do really like Samuel L. Jackson. I thought Brie Larson was fine. I think she was acceptable. I didn't like
She was
love
great.
her necessarily, but
Some of the line delivery was a little cringy
sometimes.
from her. I felt. I can't think of any specifically. It's probably a bad sign. I don't remember a line. But, like, I don't know, just the one-liners that she was dropping. Just, I don't know. She just had this, like, cringe delivery.
A little flat sometimes.
It's a little flat. Like,
Um,
when those things run her hands. Like, none of you know how to get these off? No? Okay, then. Like, it was
Yeah,
just,
that
like,
was a bad line.
very, like...
I feel that's the writing though.
I know.
That's not a good
Yeah,
line.
just playing the
I
right.
don't know if it's the writing
Yeah.
or her or both. I don't know.
Could be a combination.
But-
I thought overall she was fine. There was a couple good scenes with her sort of her friend that she sort of met up later. Pilot friend. There was a decent scene there.
It was.
They had that like golden hour lighting and they're like outside, you know, the classic. But yeah, I just think visually it didn't have anything going for it.
I do agree with you there.
There was not a whole lot
Looks
there.
Pretty gross.
Like
looks like nothing.
Even the Kree stuff. What's it? Hala is the name of the Hala is the name of the world.
Gross.
The Kree homeworld. You know, it wasn't like I'm thinking Thor
Oh.
Ragnarok. That planet they were on, was it Sakaar or something?
Yeah.
Was just like insane, right?
Yeah.
That was like something out of
Yes.
Star Wars.
Color explosion.
And then you get Hala, and it was this like
Concept
I
art.
don't. There's nothing there. There's no depth. They showed like two scenes and like that was it. You know, you didn't see a whole lot of what was there.
Very metal.
It just kind of just blended into the background. I don't know. There wasn't any flair, right? Especially with the action sequences. All it had going for it was just the inserted '90s songs.
I love what you said about the look. I think like the whole movie looks very like dead, like dim lit. Like I was gonna say the movie's very dark.
There was the
but I
chase
don't
scene
mean
in the
dark
beginning.
like that. Like I
Just
mean
visually,
visually,
like, dull.
everything is like poorly lit. Like it looks dark.
There were a few dark scenes like visually,
You know what
but
I mean?
I do think it's a little bit like just. It's like they just shot it like. They just shot the scenes. I don't know. Like
Well
there's no
said.
flair. Like the one thing that I think that the first Avenger has going for it, Captain America, was there's flair there.
You
right?
can tell it's like a film by Joe Johnston.
Yeah,
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 like I
it
can't
looks
tell
like a movie.
who directed this movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even Thor,
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
certain amount of style there.
Yeah, he
right?
did it Dutch angles that first time.
Mhm.
Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah,
You know, like it's very Kenneth Branagh.
like there's something there. Whereas,
Thor
we're
Ragnarok
coming
is very
from.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's just crazy.
Infinity
right?
War is very Russo Bros. Like,
Guardians.
But
It's-
I've seen, Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck's movies,
Yeah.
and I don't know, I just didn't get that kind of vibe.
it's just weird. I think it's just why it falls into the mid tier for me because you get like Ant-Man, that's like the guy who directed Bring It On, is doing Ant-Man. Like, there's no style there, and I group this in with like that level of Marvel. Doctor Strange is directed by like this horror director, but you get none of that style from him either. It's just like they're just like subdued into like doing
Like a studio,
a studio thing, which is
like
weird.
just doing something more generic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some of the other things I did really like Goose the cat. That was pretty,
Oh.
very funny.
Goose.
Some of the jokes were funny, like you were saying the internet thing,
That's pretty good.
like even the internet cafe thing.
That's
That
very
scene
sick.
was funny. But then when they're like, okay, what's taking so long? They're like, it's loading, okay? Like, it's loading. Like, that was pretty funny. Yeah, overall, I just liked anytime Samuel L. Jackson was on screen.
He was great.
I was
Yeah.
digging that.
I love it.
I did really like that.
This is the Nick Fury solo movie. I feel like he like stole the movie for me.
Yeah. I just want more of that, more of him.
Yeah.
Very
Right.
interested.
And it's amazing that they've gotten to the point now where they can literally do a movie of someone de-aged.
For the entire movie, and it looks great.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Oh, stay tuned for this December. The Irishman, boys.
Oh,
Is it this December or
yeah.
November?
November, yeah.
Half that
DH
movie is de-aged people acting.
on Netflix budget.
Scorsese, please, Daddy. And then, we can get into some spoiler stuff. I have some things to say about that, but yeah, overall, it was pretty flat for me. Like, there was a lot of cringe for me. Like, there was a lot of in the theater for me. There was some clapping in the theater, which made me cringe.
I meant to ask you guys that. Was your audience like raucous?
No.
No?
No.
Mine was like
There was some
going
clapping.
fucking
It was
crazy.
I saw it like Saturday evening show.
Okay.
Like, it was completely sold out, and I just picked that one seat in the middle that was by itself, not taken.
Oh god.
Power
You're in
move.
the
I was just
epicenter.
between all the plebs.
Mm.
Yeah.
Saturday
went
night, most pleb time to see a
Sunday-
movie.
Yeah, I'm like went Sunday at 3 p.m. So I expected it to be like pretty quiet. The Stan.
This movie's
thank
doing
you,
very well.
Thank you, Stan
Mhm.
Lee.
Right? Everyone.
Round of applause.
Yeah. Movie ended. Round of applause.
What was the other? I don't.
When Stan.
One of the one-liners.
I mean, there's a cameo. There's a Stan Lee cameo.
Applause.
Theater applause.
His least
applauded.
cringeworthy cameo as well. Usually he has
it's
like
just
It's
fine.
actually,
usually he has like lines and it's terrible.
Yeah. It's fine.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace, sorry.
The big like one-liner, like I don't need to prove anything to you or whatever.
Mhm.
That got a round of applause.
Really?
in my
No
theater.
one chipped it.
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't
Borderline.
like
I like that
that.
moment.
I was like borderline Hulk Thor for me, or I mean Hulk Loki, like the ragdoll,
Oh yeah,
like just the
hilarious.
entire theater literally.
I could see that was about to happen too
Erupted.
in that scene. We'll
Me
we'll,
too.
we'll get to that. Let's give our ratings. Actually, sir, I did want to mention I did like this scene, the sort of the car chase and then the subway.
Yeah, so car chase
I
felt
thought
very
that was
90s.
okay.
Like it looks like they were actually crashing cars,
Yeah,
which was refreshing.
even the music,
Yeah,
like the score behind the when
it
Sam
looks like a
Jackson's driving.
90s action film. I'm like, this is interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I was cool with that part. I do think they kind of messed up the Skrulls thing for me. We'll get into that.
Mm.
Like I thought it could have been
We will.
done a lot more.
There's a interesting revelation with them.
There is. We can get to that.
I just want to say I thought Annette Bening was like really bad. Yeah, I thought she was completely flat, and
I thought she was just there.
I'm sick of like them getting these like A-list actor like legends to just like pop in and just do like a dead-eyed like read lines off of paper.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I felt like. for
Happens
me.
a lot.
But that's the way Disney does it, right? It's like you
It's gross.
you don't just get some nobody.
Yeah,
Like that's the thing about these stars is they'll do it
right.
for a Marvel movie.
Like what Al Pacino, what did he say? Like my grandkids really want me to do one. so I'm,
100%,
like, gonna do one.
100%. That's a thing, right?
Yeah,
Like, I'm trying to think of other like tiny ones.
Stallone.
Like,
Guardians
is it
2.
Renee Russo was in like Thor as like, what was her name?
Thor's mom?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's Thor's mom.
Yeah,
Like tiny ass role, right?
Stallone.
Even or what's his name? Shazam was in Thor, like a tiny role.
Right, right.
But there's lots of those tiny roles, and they just get big actors for it. I don't know. I feel like it's the
It
grandkids.
can be
Anthony
done
Hopkins.
well, I guess, but I just thought
Glenn
like,
Close? Did you say the Glenn Close?
No, but that's another
Tommy
perfect
Rose?
example.
right?
Close
Like,
no
what he-
cigar. Sorry,
She's in
Glenn.
like one scene. in
Yeah,
the movie.
insane.
Literally one
insane.
scene.
Like, what are you doing?
Like John
here?
C. Riley.
John C.
Also
Reilly.
same
Also-
scene.
Same
Same
scene,
thing.
Let's give our ratings, and we'll get into some spoiler talk. I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna go. This is a heavy 2.
We'll go
It's
3.
just right in the middle.
We'll go 3.
It's just meh.
Yeah, teetering between heavy 3 and 3.
Yeah, that's where I was teetering. I lined down 3.
I'm gonna go 3 because I think I've given some heavy 3s to ones I like more, like Doctor Strange and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't quite get the full enjoyment out of this, but it wasn't like shit. So
All right. Well, for everyone, if you haven't seen Captain Marvel, we will be discussing some spoilery aspects. So you've been warned. Yeah. Yeah, I did. Sorry, just to add on what you were saying,
Please.
I do think it was like, like I gave it a heavy 2, like average, right in the middle. But I do think it will benefit from a sequel.
Yeah.
Okay. Explain.
Like, I think, obviously you drop Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck, no offense, right? You get
Savage.
someone with some little pizzazz, right?
Yeah.
You get a good, now that you've done the origin, right? You've introduced the
Weird.
characters that sort of, the relationships, and, I don't know, maybe you do something with the daughter. Like, is the daughter a character of her
Yes,
friend?
she is. Yeah.
What?
100%.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the
Shut
timelines.
up.
I'm like, it's mid-90s here.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's not the movie mid-90s.
It's a 5.
They're in like 1995, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at the time. That's like 15 years. So she would be like, what, late 20s?
Wow.
Like she could be.
Who is
She's I think she takes on the mantle of Captain Marvel at one point for a brief time, but
Oh!
she goes by a couple different names as well.
Really?
I watched a
She
Mr.
could be like
Sunday
an agent of
Movies
S.H.I.E.L.D.
thing today. Yeah.
Shouts out, Mr. Sunday.
She could be like a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent or something.
Yeah, they could like cut down her. Like
could-
I
they
think
could
she's
do
like
something.
super powered in the comics, but like not like super powered. But she has like
She has
some
like some
stuff.
powers.
Yeah. I don't know
I could see
how.
something like where they do it in
Wow.
modern day.
Just
Also, does she not age? I don't know. What's going on there?
Captain Marvel?
Yeah,
Yeah, she changed her hair a bit. I'm assuming there's going to
like
be
she's not 20. That's 20 years. That's 25 years later, right?
There's going to be like the Kree blood, like, de-aged her, like, she
Right.
aged slowly, like some
Yeah,
bullshit.
Kree probably don't age at a normal race, and she has like full
100%.
Kree blood in her.
That's
now.
what they're going to say.
Guess I don't. I don't read the comics.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you idiot.
I'm assuming that's all.
Uh, I'll just jump. Like,
Yeah, jump into it.
right to the meat. I did love, we were saying the action was underwhelming. The one action scene I loved was when she went like full OG Captain Marvel with the Mohawk and like
Super Saiyan.
Super
Sailing
Saiyan
right through ships and stuff.
right through the ship, like into the missile barrage. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, that's a cool sequence.
Like a brief moment. That was probably the only moment that I was like, oh shit. Like that was the only oh shit.
She's very
She's like
overpowered.
Superman, basically. She's like Superwoman.
Superwoman.
She's flying around.
But I mean, like level
Power.
abilities.
Yeah.
Feige said she's the GOAT. He says she's the strongest in the MCU. So
Craziness.
she showed it. She took out a ship and some missiles.
Very interesting.
She's coming to slap Thanos.
She's gonna snap him.
Oh, she's gonna
She'll
snap.
snap his neck.
Sorry, Brolin. You're about to get snapped.
Let's talk about the Skrulls for a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, going into this, I sort of felt, okay, it's gonna be the Dark Elves all over again.
Oh my!
No.
Don't you dare to say that.
Now
You
we get
freak.
we get a little bit of Skrull action, but I was a little disappointed. I thought the scene, honestly, a really funny scene later in the movie when they're talking about, well, what can you turn into? I'm trying to remember what they were what they were saying.
Like filing cabinet.
Yeah, can you turn into a filing cabinet?
Ben Mendelsohn's comedic timing in this movie was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank you. I forgot to mention. He's
there's
so
a twist that
funny.
happens about halfway through when
You
he
wanna
shows up at
explain
their
that?
house, and you find out that him and his friends are not there to invade Earth. They're just looking to get back with his family and the other refugees of the Skrull species. The Skrulls in the comic book are typically evil.
Right.
There's like some guys that are good because they're people, so some are good, some are bad. But they're usually viewed as like evil, and they're like
That's what
there's
I
a
thought,
comics line called Secret Invasion, I think, where like they invade like a lot of MCU characters, and you find out like, oh, that guy was a Skrull for the past like 3 years, whatever.
That'd be amazing.
So that's where people thought this was going to go. Like they assumed that this movie would reveal that like Nick Fury's been a Skrull the whole time, or somebody's been
that
a
would be a
Skrull.
game changer.
But the twist is Skrulls aren't bad in this version. At least the ones we've seen so far are not bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I
that's-
think once that twist happened, I was fine with it. 'cause
They
I-
might do that for the sequel. I can see.
Yeah, exactly.
Go
They might meet up
nuts.
with some other bad Skrulls or something. But I do like the twist. Like once you find out that they're not bad, Ben Mendelsohn is like the comedic relief in this movie,
Yeah,
and he's
that surprised me.
he's
to be
very
honest.
funny.
I was not expecting that at all.
That
Yeah,
cat
I
when
can
he
see
he
that.
first knows his cat, he's like
Keep that away from me.
was
And
access
he's
just
like
hilarious.
drinking that like drink.
Samuel Jackson style from Pulp Fiction.
Oh,
Pretty hilarious.
hilarious.
Now, the twist I did see,
Five.
however, was Jan Rogue, I believe his name is,
Jude Law.
aka Jude Law. I mean, from the trailer, you could tell he was evil. I don't
Like,
know.
is that even a twist?
Yeah, he
like,
looks like
It's not
guy.
a twist.
Pathetic.
His yellow eyes.
I thought that was
Yeah,
pathetic.
Bad guy. Come on.
Bad guy, come on.
He's like Sinestro, like
Oh my god.
Basically.
Stop comparing it to Green Lantern. That's
it's
insane.
very Green Lantern.
It is Green Lantern.
Right?
It's fucked
You
up.
get these noble warrior heroes.
Plus, Digimon Hansu's like in her team, and he's a bad guy that you see in Guardians. So
Right.
clearly,
Like
there's
you
some
know
bad
there's
dudes.
something there. There's
Did
something.
I just blow your mind?
Yeah, you
Oh
did.
my god.
You just got that? Wow. But also Ronan the Accuser's like on their side. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
like
Clearly
like
bad guy.
they're fucked up. You know, they're obviously evil.
Yeah.
So that didn't surprise me whatsoever. But I didn't see the scroll thing coming.
No, I thought they would be the bad guys, and
I was like, they were just
That
gonna
was
be.
a good twist.
I thought they were just gonna be.
Technically.
The twist was that they were allied. I'd be like, you got me. But I was happy to see that sort of interesting twist there. But yeah, it was interesting to see Goose explode.
yeah, that's hilarious.
I read something that there's actually a pocket dimension inside him,
Yes.
and so that's how he can hold all these other things inside him. I guess it doesn't always have to be tentacles. I don't know. I guess it doesn't have
Just
to.
whatever is
What?
there, I guess.
I didn't understand that that's what was happening.
There's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a pocket dimension inside the.
That
I thought he was an
opens-
alien. Like, the tentacles aren't him? That's just
The
like...
tentacles are probably something that like lives inside the pocket dimension that he like releases and like
Right.
eats people with.
Yeah, it's just like one tool in the bag. You know what I mean?
That's fucked.
Which is quite fucked up.
Bizarre.
Anything more specific you guys want to mention?
I like seeing the Tesseract.
A ton. Yeah, we got to see
Tesseract,
some Tesseract.
surprise, Tesseract moment.
I like seeing, like, any MCU connective tissue I can.
Yeah.
Like, I hate when it's like an Ant-Man and the Wasp, where it's just like
literally nothing to do. Like it's just like,
nothing
yeah.
going on at all. I like when they, like, you get a Ronin, you get a Jimon Hunzu, you get, like, a Tesseract. Like, just fill it with as many, like, eye catchers as you can is nice.
I'm kind of on the fence about it. On one hand,
Really?
like you, I like seeing those things. On the other hand, I wonder, like, what they really add besides fan service.
Yeah, it's a cheat code.
You know, it's like the songs. It's
Yeah.
like you just throw Jimon Hansu there, which he had one funny line about not laughing, but he's laughing internally or something.
Yes.
And that's it. That's what you bring him in for. Like, and he's just some other. He could be any nameless
I
soldier.
liked when the guy said he was objectively handsome.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny, but he didn't say it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought you didn't need.
I think
that.
of it like this movie would be shit without that.
Just straight shit.
If it was just like random temp score instead of any of those songs and no,
But that's not fair. I don't know.
like none of that stuff, it would just be like the most boring like snooze fest of a movie.
Doesn't that kind of prove that it is? Like, if that's what it takes, is kind of the cheat code songs. Like, I don't know.
I
It
guess
just makes
the
it more
argument-
lazy than.
But it's
good.
like the weird argument of like if this isn't in this movie, it's bad, but it is in that movie.
Yeah.
Like if you pretend, yeah.
But
like-
to me, this is in this movie. It's bad.
right.
The song is in it. It's cheap.
The
It's
song
like
choices
cheating.
are weird, but I do agree that I like seeing the connective tissue, as you said,
Thank you.
because
Like I said, it's
I
on one hand I
couldn't
do
deter-
like it.
like the MCU is doing something that like has never been done before. We're like
Yeah.
making this long, sprawling story,
Right.
and like I'm cool that like stuff connects, and you gotta see all of them. Like that's
That's the
like,
whole. That's
it's-
what we
yeah,
signed
like
up for
it's
here.
cool that these movies can stand alone, but at the same time, the fact that they are connected makes them that much more enjoyable
Right.
for me.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I
weird.
expect them
It's
to be
really
somewhat
weird,
connected
yeah.
and stuff. Like I like a lot of people complain that like they don't all like some of them like Infinity War people complain because it didn't like resolve that story. But I'm like, I think I've said this before. It's like it's a comic book series. Like these are issues that we're
You're
reading.
flipping through
Like,
So
they
it's-
want you to keep turning the
Yeah,
page. They want you
which
to come
I'm in.
back.
I'm like, fuck, I'm hooked. I don't give a shit.
every few months. Like, oh, there's a new issue.
Yeah, let's go see
Marvel
what's happening
issue.
in the
Yeah.
Marvel
They're literally
universe.
doing
insane.
comic book movies.
Yes, literally, literally issues that like. Here's a snippet. Here's some characters you've seen before. Sometimes they're big in some stuff, and sometimes they have a little tiny role.
Like the comics.
You know what,
Comics.
Tim? You sold me.
Ah,
Fuck you,
he's
man.
in. He's in. He loved the movie now.
It's a 5.
Can we all
I'm
just
trying to
five
think
it,
of other things.
please?
I mean, I guess, a big thing for me is just the actual story itself was very meh. Like, we're not
It was
even
very
talking about the plot.
There's not much of a
There's
plot.
nothing there. Like, there's nothing interesting there. Like, we could go on about what
It's hollow.
specifically happened, right? What they were going for. The Tesseract comes into play. and the Tesseract is what gave her powers actually. Through she like shot it and it exploded.
That was the Tesseract in that thing?
Mm-hmm. It was the engine.
Are you sure? Or was it like a Tesseract? Or was it?
Oh yeah, it was. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that was the engine.
Yes, yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that was what powered the engine.
Yeah.
The like light speed engine that they were testing.
Shit.
Right, and then she shot the core that had the Tesseract in it, and then that's the like Tesseract waves like
Yeah,
gave
radiated.
her the power, which is interesting. That it's the Tesseract power.
And that's supposed to be.
I don't know if that's
super
canon or
fun.
not. I don't know.
No, it's not good.
That didn't seem like.
Yeah,
it
I
would be.
think they finessed
That
that.
seemed like that seemed like an MCU like that's connected with the Tesseract.
Feige.
Um,
Just like,
and then the Skrulls just needed. See, I'm trying to wrap my brain around the way that
See, it's
what
weird.
they were
Don't
trying to
do
do. I just
you'll
didn't-
enjoy it more if you just.
They were in a
click.
lab. They weren't able to contact. I don't know. There's some weird shit.
Yeah,
Sweet,
they
we're
wanted
here.
this Tesseract to have light speed travel. Yet at the same time,
They didn't want to use
there's
it.
like these jump points that have been established in the MCU where like you just go through this like portal and it jumps you like to like the next portal. We see it in Guardians 2. We see it in this. It's like that honeycomb looking thing that opens up and then
Right,
they shoot.
right.
So why do you need light speed travel? Unless you're like traveling to a whole new galaxy, I think is what they're trying to do because the Kree is like slowly taking over
I don't know.
planets.
Anyways, what I'm getting
don't
at is
think
the
about
plot
that.
is very meh. I don't know.
Yeah,
it is.
plots.
It is.
Plots
It's
are
a
messy.
little. But I mean, we can talk about the post-credit stuff, right? First, mid-credits, you get a little tie-in to, I guess, Endgame, right? Right after the snap, you got Cap, you got
ScarJo.
ScarJo,
Hulk.
Ruffalo,
And
Cheadle.
Rhodes,
Cheeto, yeah.
and they have Samuel L's Fury's pager,
Ooh,
which they're trying to power.
Pager.
and
Pretty-
pager turns off. They don't know why, and who might it
Boom.
be? Captain Marvel.
She answers the call.
Speaking of Captain Marvel, who's Captain Marvel? Did they ever say Captain Marvel
Not once.
in that movie?
Not once.
That kind of didn't make any sense to
They
me.
never said Captain, right? They only said Marvel.
but
like when she's
she's
teaching
not
them.
Marvel.
Right. He said
And that Benning is Marvel.
Or what? Fury says Marvel, and she's like, it's Marvel, 2 words.
But they're talking about Annette Benning's character.
Right.
They're not talking about Brie Larson.
And still, nobody ever says Captain Marvel.
Right.
I'm wondering if it's a legal thing. Well, no, because they use the title. Because Captain.
That's why Shazam isn't called Captain Marvel. Because Shazam is Captain Marvel.
He was originally
Yeah,
called Captain Marvel.
That was the original Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
right?
Why don't you change it?
Which is
Which
really,
is DC.
by the way, is just irking
Very.
the shit out of me. How everyone's like, Captain Marvel, it's a girl now. You know, in my day when I read comics, it was a guy. I hate how I'm like, that's a different thing. That's Shazam.
100% different.
Yeah, at least 5 people have said that to me.
Really?
Yeah, like, Adam, you excited for Captain Marvel? You know, it's pretty cringe that they turn it into a woman. Like, when I read the comics in the 80s, it was a guy. I have to be like, yeah, that's crazy, man. In my head, I'm like,
You just correct them right then and there.
yeah.
That's sort of a side thing that I just thought it was funny. You're just
Yeah.
you're just
Interesting.
assuming she's Captain Marvel. I don't know.
Now, I guess she is.
Is she? I don't know. Why would she take her like her boss's name? I don't get it.
Yeah. I don't
Anyways, I just don't get it.
She admires her the most. That's why she appeared.
They didn't
as
say, "Oh, you're
She's the
you're
goat.
alone. You're by yourself." Oh, solo then.
Solo.
Right? They didn't do that.
Oof.
We did get to see how Fury lost his eye.
Hilarious.
Oh,
The cat scratch.
Quite
shit.
funny.
Not the cat.
Goose.
Oh, not the cat.
What's it called? The
Flurkin scratched him.
The Flurkin scratch.
Mother flirkin.
And that was
Yeah.
great
Oh,
when
it's
he got
just a scratch.
scratched and like he's like, oh, it's just a cat scratch, and then Ben Mendeley's like, no.
I'm surprised like it wasn't just blood everywhere. Like if he lost
Yeah.
his eye straight up.
He didn't lose it. It was just scratched.
Yeah, one of them, he lifts the patch.
In Civil War, he like lifts the patch, or in Winter Soldier, he lifts the patch, and he still has it there. It's like white and dead. Like,
Oh, okay. So I mean, I guess, but he lost the vision. Anyways, so you see Captain Marvel appear. Like, where's Fury? Looks a little angry.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that? Does that surprise you
No,
at all?
not at all.
Whatsoever?
No.
Did you not see that coming? That's
It
odd.
got me hype. I'll say that. I was surprised that they got the remaining Avengers that didn't blow away. I didn't think they would get them for this post credits.
Oh, this is definitely a scene from Endgame.
100%. They were
Right.
filming it
Yeah.
all at the same time.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I just didn't expect to see them. Like I was very impressed. I was like, oh, they like pulled out the big
100%
guns.
just shot it during Endgame
Yeah.
shooting.
They just never. I don't know. They never seem to like pull out the big guns for these post credits. It's always like a super tease. But this one,
This
like,
one,
delivered.
however,
It
we
was
got
like,
a month,
yeah,
2 months,
that too. I forgot.
less than
1
2
month.
months.
Oh, it's out in April.
6 weeks.
Yeah,
6 weeks until Endgame. I don't know, something like that.
that's insane.
I'm buy me tickets.
Less.
5 weeks.
Yeah.
I think it's 5
less,
weeks.
Yeah, that's insane.
Like that's
I totally forgot
insane.
about that.
So I mean, I think they wanted something a bit more direct
Yeah.
to get people hyped, right?
That's
that
what I like.
gets the point.
Very.
Now
direct.
the end credits scene I thought was funny, but also like I was not surprised. It wasn't like a
Yeah, obviously
wasn't-
the Tesseract can't just stay in the cat forever.
yeah, because I was the shield ended up with the Tesseract
Yeah.
and it got stolen, all this shit. But there was a funny little cat hairball
Yeah.
of the Tesseract, which was
It's cute.
quite humorous for
cute.
kids.
Yes.
You know, the kids enjoyed that.
Yes.
Anything else you guys want to mention about Captain Marvel?
That's all I got for that one.
Well, I think that'll do it for our review. Tim, where can people find us?
People can find us on Facebook and on Instagram at UpReal8 Podcast. You can find me personally on Letterboxd at UpRealTim and on Instagram at The Craft Pundit.
You can find me on Twitter at Franey25 and on Instagram Letterboxd at UpRealAdam.
Find myself, Scott, on Letterboxd at UpRealScott. And yeah, guys, if you enjoy this video, leave a like on it. Leave a comment below in the comment section if you want to join our discussion. And as always, keep it real.